What does the officer know at the time of the F-1 visa interview and what they look for? When you go for an F-1 visa interview, it's essential to understand what the consular officer knows about your application and what they're looking for to determine whether you qualify to study in the US. The F-1 visa interview is a critical part of the process, where the officer assesses if you meet the requirements for studying in the US. In this video, we will dive into the details of what the officer knows in advance and the factors they focus on during the interview. What the officer knows before the F-1 visa interview. Before your F-1 visa interview, the consular officer has access to several important pieces of information regarding your application. They will have reviewed your DS-160 form, which is the main visa application form that includes personal details, academic background, and the specifics of your intended study in the US. The officer will also be familiar with your I-20 form, which is issued by the US institution you've been accepted to and confirms your eligibility for an F-1 visa. Additionally, they will check your passport and photograph to ensure it meets the visa requirements. Your prior visa history, including any previous US visas or applications, will also be visible to the officer, helping them understand your immigration background. Finally, they will access your SEVIS, Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, record, which tracks your student status and ensures your I-20 form is in good standing. What the officer is looking for during the F-1 visa interview. The F-1 visa interview is your opportunity to demonstrate your qualifications and intentions. One of the most critical aspects of the interview is proving your intent to study in the US on a temporary basis and your intent to return to your home country afterward. Officers will assess whether you have strong ties to your home country, such as family connections, job prospects, or other reasons that indicate you plan to leave the US after completing your studies. They want to be sure that you do not intend to stay in the US permanently or overstay your visa. Another significant factor the officer considers is financial proof. They need to ensure that you have the necessary funds to cover your tuition, living expenses, and other costs while studying in the US. The financial documentation you provide, such as bank statements, affidavits of support, or sponsor letters, must show that you have sufficient resources and that these funds are legitimate. The officer will also examine the source and consistency of your financial support to confirm that your financial situation is credible. The officer will also inquire about your educational background and future plans. They will want to understand why you chose your specific university or program in the US and how it fits with your academic and career goals. They will assess whether your educational journey in the US makes sense given your background and whether it aligns with your professional aspirations. Additionally, officers want to know your career plans after graduation to ensure that you intend to return to your home country or pursue further studies elsewhere. During the interview, the officer will evaluate your English proficiency. Since most academic programs in the US are conducted in English, they want to ensure you have the language skills needed to succeed. Your TOEFL or IELTS scores will likely be available to the officer, and they may also assess your communication skills during the interview itself to gauge your ability to thrive in an English-speaking academic environment. Finally, the officer is looking for clarity and consistency in your responses. They'll be paying attention to how clearly and confidently you answer their questions. Your answers should align with the information provided in your documents. Any inconsistencies between your story and the documents submitted could raise concerns, so it's important to present yourself transparently and truthfully. Final decision factors. After the interview, the consular officer will review all the information they've gathered to decide whether to approve or deny your F-1 visa application. The decision will depend on several factors, such as whether you meet the eligibility requirements for the visa, whether your documents are complete and accurate, and whether the officer believes you intend to return to your home country after your studies. If any documents are missing, inconsistent, or raise doubts, the officer may request additional information or deny the visa. In addition, if the officer perceives a high risk that you may overstay your visa or misuse your student status, it could result in a visa denial. In conclusion, understanding what the officer knows about you and what they look for during the F-1 visa interview is essential for success. The key factors are proving that you are a legitimate student, that you have strong ties to your home country, that you have sufficient financial support, and that you have a clear plan for your studies and future. Being well prepared, confident, and consistent during your interview will greatly increase your chances of securing an F-1 visa. Thank you for watching our video. Please like, comment and subscribe our video for more informative tips.